I've been consuming a lot of content from other popular creators that I like watching videos from, and I feel like the recurring theme, the recurring tip that I'm hearing from all of them in order to make a good video is storytelling. So I want to talk about today's topic in the form of a story, in the form of my story actually, and it's going to be about the time period of from 2021 when I first started my online business to 2024 or the beginning of 2024, right before I started to see my first bit of success with it. Because I think those, 2 to 3 year period is something, or rather a very good example that actually applies to what I want to talk about today, which, as you see in the title of this video, is you only give up, you've only lost when you've given up. So to give you guys a bit of context, my name is Mohammed. I run an online business. It's a marketing company that focuses on helping auto brokers get more sales. And we average multiple five figures every single month. But before I had reached the point at which I reached this level or reached any bit of success rather, from 2021 until 2023, I was doing nothing but consistently banging my head against the wall without yielding any sort of results. So I started my business in the middle of 2021, right around June of 2021. And I didn't exactly understand exactly how to operate the business at the time, but I had watched enough videos and I had seen enough people doing it and making it successful that I figured I'm going to give it a try. So I stepped into it. I got one client, two clients, three clients through word of mouth and just people finding out, hey, I'm a marketing person now, this is what I do. And I wasn't necessarily satisfied with any of it. Not on the end of how much money I was making with it, but then also even the service that I was giving my clients. I felt like I could have done better for them, but I just yet didn't have the knowledge and I didn't have the skills in order to be able to do so. And this was how I felt for maybe a good 5, 6, maybe 7 clients in a row. So imagine I started with 7 individuals, each of them taking maybe a period of 2 to 3 months. So we're talking about a good, 14 months right there on the high end of it, that I'm consistently trying something over and over and over again to try to figure it out, and it just wasn't moving. Until after about roughly my 6th or 7th client, I wanted to give up on the whole thing. I thought I have wasted enough people's time trying to learn, trying to figure this thing out, attempting things that just haven't been working. And so it's time that I hang up, I hang up my cape or sweater. Well, I don't know what the saying is, but give up, no longer attempt the business and move on to something else, or maybe just focus back on my academics. And I'm really glad that I didn't do that, because if I did, then I wouldn't be where I am today. You know what I mean? But the concept, I think, that helped me at the time, which I was doing without really knowing it, was not giving up. In a lot of moments, that was really the only thing that made the difference between me being on a completely different trajectory of my life now and then ending up where I am today. Because in the period that I had between those first client to 7th client, in which I was trying many things and trying to figure out, I was very motivated. I was very excited. I was always looking to innovate and learn from my mistakes and, study the last thing that didn't work so that I can improve on the next attempt that I do. Which I think at that point in time, I had a decent relationship with failure. I didn't exactly always understand what failure was. I didn't understand what my relationship with failure as I understand it now is. But I knew just enough that it kept me alive. And just to give you guys a bit of context, my last video that I uploaded talked about my relationship with failure, which, to sum it up, my understanding of failure is not an indicator for you to give up. It is simply one of the many attempts that you will be taking that you will collect data from and learn on what didn't work so that you could improve and get one step closer to what will eventually work. So in that point in time, I had a decent relationship with failure. I knew that when I tried one thing and it didn't work, I would just use that as data to improve on the next thing. But at some point in time, you can try the same thing so many times over and over and over again that you start to feel demotivated, that you start to doubt yourself, that you start to doubt your abilities, that you just want to give up. And it's in those moments when today's lesson, or not today's lesson, but the theme of this video, I think applies the most, which is not giving up. In many days, the best thing you can do is just not mess up what you've done so far, what you've built so far, and literally just do nothing. You could have the best mindset of a hustler, the best mindset of a go-getter, the mindset of someone that's always looking to improve and go, 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 and climb and build and all this positive, building and climbing. You get the idea here. But sometimes when you just don't have enough data, when you've looked at the chessboard and you can't see what the next possible move is, you at the very least, what you don't want to do is mess up all the progress that you've made so far. And so to kind of keep this concept concise and make it more general for more people to understand, a lot of people, or at least from the friends that I have and the experiences I've heard of other people, and then maybe if you're a complete stranger seeing me for the first time and the algorithm put this video on your feed and you think this is what you need to hear, in your journey to trying stuff, you will have many attempts in which you try to do something, try to build, try to get one step closer, and you feel like you're going nowhere, and that's when you start having the thoughts about giving up. But what you need to do is that's when you need to take a step back and turn around and look at all the progress that you've made so far. And so that progress is an indicator that in the time that you've been attempting and you feel like you've gotten nowhere, you have in fact gotten somewhere. You have in fact learned something that you didn't know previously, which is still a benefit that got you one step closer to where you need to go. And so maybe you're just burnt out and you need to take a minute. Now this is a theme that I guess in many ways opposes what I believe, because I'm an individual that is very much about the I like to many times take the mindset of I haven't done enough. And I think it's quite egotistical for me to assume I've reached my absolute top limit and that I deserve a break. I think very few people in this world actually do enough that they say they fully are privileged and fully are privileged to, the luxury of taking a break. A lot of people, I think in our day and age, need to hear more of this David Goggins style, get up and keep going and don't stop. But I think it'd be lying if I didn't say that to me, a lot of the time, all I needed to hear was just don't give up. You're not getting anywhere. Sure, you're not getting one step closer. You're not feeling like you're innovating and you're doing exactly what you want to be doing, and you're not pushing closer to where you want to get. But at the very least, don't mess up what you've done so far. Don't forget all the lessons you learned so far. Don't forget all the progress you've made so far. And all you need to do is just not give up. Because once you've given up, once you've stepped out, that's truly when you've lost. My business partner, Jake, at the marketing agency actually has an amazing quote that he told me about recently that I think perfectly sums up the concept that we're trying to talk about in this video. And it's the fact that when you're attempting business, there is no one that ever really loses. There are people that just give up early. And I think that's something that applies to, as a matter of fact, any facet of life that you're trying to apply yourself with and find success with. You've never really lost, you just gave up too early. And for different people, that level of like where you find progress and success and where you are really getting nowhere varies. But what I do believe is that every human being, if they truly had the mindset and they truly had the drive for it, they could find success in what they're trying to find success in. For different people, it just takes different amounts of time. And so for you, think of whatever it is in your life that you're trying to accomplish, whatever it is you're trying to achieve, in your destiny, in your kind of, let's say, written record of everything that's going to happen in your life, there is a certain level and there is a certain number of attempts that if you take these number of attempts, you will learn the lessons that you need to learn, and you will have made the trials that you need to make in order for you to then eventually reach the success or the win that you're looking to reach. You don't know what it is, but you'll definitely never reach it if you give up. Whereas let's say by your 100th take, you're exhausted. And you say, okay, I'm not going to give up. I just need to take a break. I can recognize and appreciate the progress I've made so far. So I'm going to take a break because I'm burnt out, but I'm going to get back and I'm going to keep going to it. You don't know when, but you will eventually reach your goal. And that's another thing, I guess, that I like to take in my mindset, or another kind of saying that I like to live by. I'm either going to reach what I'm looking to reach, or I'm going to die an honorable death trying. And so that, I think, in short, just to kind of not overload you with information, that sums up exactly what I'm trying to get across in this video. in your attempts and in your journey and your effort to reach something, to accomplish a goal, if you've tried 1,000 times and you're starting to doubt yourself and you haven't yet reached a destination that you want to reach, that isn't a sign for you to give up. That's a sign for you to take a break and not give up. That is perhaps in that moment the best move you can make, because you've only truly lost once you've given up on your dreams. I'll see you in the next one.